Hello there, my name is Richard. The first time you see my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so sup it, copy random, and today we're going to talk about a new live action series of the Very Odd Parents Fairy Otter. Now before I get started, I probably will not use that much images or the actors because every time I do a live action something, if they're kid actors, I'll be blocked for some reason even explaining what I'm actually doing there. But once more, just to make sure, I'm going to use different images just to describe what the characters are. But besides that, how the show really is. Well, to be fair, when you see the trailer, how the whole animated community reacted was probably the most appropriate way because everybody said, "Oh God, why? Burning with fire." And that's the best way to describe the whole series. Now, the first time I started watching it, I was like, wasn't really expecting nothing. After the first episode I watched, you know what? This is not bad. It was sort of well handled, deep, kind of wholesome. Till we get the second, third, fourth, I say that's it. I quit because more episodes have passed, the more the show got worse. I think one of the things that kind of killed this series is because it's based on the original series. In fact, Very Odd Parents is sort of a continuation of the movies. Yeah, this one doesn't really explain why Timmy and everybody is alive or human. Only Costume and Wonder are animation. The only reason it's sort of half an answer is why, I don't know, some characters you see from the past for the original series, the only answer you get is just go with it, because that's how the Very Odd Parents roll. This sort of self-aware, yeah, this is ridiculous, but this is the joke. This is how we are now. And also answer maybe another question, like why you have photos with other characters but they look cartoonish, specifically human beings. And they actually do have an answer for that. It's because they're just drawings that what we think they are in drawing form. And that's basically the closest answer you gotta get, because that's basically, I guess, the joke. Now, the story of everything else, you basically follow Vivian and Roy Turner. They basically, one of them actually are cousin to the original Timmy, and the other is a half sibling. The reason why Timmy give their fairy to this new kids is because Timmy is about to leave to college and he feels he doesn't need them anymore. The reason why Timmy still have the kids is once more the original animated, not original live action movie explains that it's a loophole in the rules that if you feel young and youthful, he's still allowed to have kids because, I mean, not kids, his fairies, is because he's sort of a loophole. He's young, very youthful. He never feel old and jaded. At least not now. Just get went to college. But anyway, after that, he decided to give it away. The only person he feels he should give it away is his cousin, who really needs them. But of course, he had to ask the main fairy, Jordan, and he says it's okay, gonna let them have it. But shenanigans bring in that Roy was there, but specifically be Vivian. But because Roy and Vivian are there, both of them need fairies, Jordan decided to share two fairies. The only rule they added to it is the fact one of them are allowed to have one wish of a turn, and the second rule is you can't undo the wish of the other does. And that's it. That's what originally happened. Now, the new cast and kids of this series, how to describe them? They're okay. They're basically very opposite each other. Like Vivian, she is basically a wreck, nervous, kind of paranoid, but once more, not overdoes it. At the same time, it's just sort of, for a little bit, now she became sort of okay with it. She does panic. Not to his other half brother, Roy, that he's fully himself. He's sort of a rock star. He's sort of a star legend in the town. And sort of they kind of back and forth, kind of hating each other, loving each other, trying to back themselves up. And basically that's it. You also have their parents are basically, I think, the best part of the whole series, because their parents are just sort of charming, out there, ridiculous. And also, I like to say one thing about this series. This series does capture the soul of the whole series, but it doesn't mean the show actually is good, because it does have the same formulating things. For example, the three rule joke. If you don't want to watch any episode of Very Odd Parents and then have it to repeat the joke 3 times just because it makes funnier and funnier every time you return to it. The only problem is that doesn't really work. In fact, that gimmick doesn't really work in this show. It only worked maybe once or twice. The rest of the time you feel sort of tiring. Of course, you have other things that they're self-aware, they're mean-spirited, everything's sort of a musical, and everybody just does 100% overdoes it, but it never feels annoying. It's just sort of tiring or boring. That, be fair, all the cast give a 110%. The only problem is the dialogue is not that good, or the comedy was written for them are not good either. It's just okay because this is a sitcom. Because of the sitcom, they had to put the laugh track constantly. The point is just sort of distracting a little bit. It just sort of, sometimes they do give a good joke, but because the laugh track kind of ruins it. Yeah, it's one of those, like, you could easily nitpick because every episode goes forward, the worse it gets. But they do add some interesting things. Like, they do have Vicky of this show. Like, Evil Vicky, the babysitter. Well, this version, she's got older. Now she's a teacher who wanted to torture kids, in other words. And that stuff could be very creative. But they add some things that's sort of strange. Like, Vicky became obsessed with Crocker and completely fall in love with Crocker. And honestly, that's sort of weird, but at the same time, that sort of makes sense, I guess. But to make it more stranger, actually another character reappear of this series actually be Crocker. He does reappear, specifically the original voice actor who appeared in the original movie of Timmy Turner. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to return, and yeah, he does a great job. I'll be truthful. You also have another character, or old character, the rich kid, the blonde boy, the one who owns everything that he doesn't know what to do with himself. He returns also. I just don't remember his name. Yeah, in fact, that's the only 3 characters return besides Jorgen and the fairies. They also add a new fairy that is only appear 1 episode because she is very specific in her career, that sort of puppetry. Yeah, it's sort of weird. It's a weird episode, but once more, they tried new things. They tried to do something unique. That it was successful. No, it was never really well executed. Maybe the first episode. After that, everything else is just sort of why, especially Roy, that he is sort of a beginning charming, that he became sort of annoying. But once more, it's not the actor's fault. He still does whatever he can. In fact, each character, each side character, give it a 110%. They throw themselves in the work. They give everything. But the only problem is the written part. The written part is just not that good. Now, the animation of the whole series, well, how to describe it? It's sort of bad, like the final season of Very Odd Parents, because it was sort of cheap. The fluency, you do tell. They also have this sort of weird movements. They try to try to make it realistic, the best way to describe it. All of that, the animation sort of fails, especially in the season finale, because the season finale they went all animation, but just so lazy, sort of lagging. That's the best way to describe it. But all of that's probably one of the major complaints of this, and I think it's one of the major reasons why people hate it. But besides that, I recommend it? No, because this series, it's not good. The only reason you want to watch it if you have Paramount Plus, for different reasons you have it, I kind of recommend it just to normal curiosity. In fact, the only reason I will recommend it if you have little kids like 5 or 8-year-olds who maybe be interested in watching this series just for them. But other than that, I don't recommend it. I got really one question to say. Did you watch the series? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I really got nothing else to say. Just thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.